So this is our 2020 Hyundai Ioniq Electric, and in this video I'm just going to briefly talk about the door handles on these cars. And this also affects other Hyundai cars that have this sort of external handle design. So the issue is these handles break incredibly easily. They are quite a weak point of this car. So we previously had a 28 kilowatt hour Ioniq, a 2017 one, had that for 3 years, never had an issue. We bought this car in November last year. It had only done 15,000 miles, I think 14,500 miles, and at Christmas both rear door handles snapped. Mel came out to use it at Christmas, came to open this door to put something in the back. The handle fell off in her hand, came in and showed me, and then went round to the other side to get in to do the same, and straight away this handle snapped off as well. So within 2 minutes both rear door handles were broken. And what happens is this piece here breaks away and falls off, because when you open a handle, this bit that hinges, there is some plastic. I'm not going to pull this too far because I don't want to break this again, but there's a plastic sort of hook on that which is doing that as the handle comes out, and it's pushing against this. So my advice is, when you're using the handles on these cars, don't yank that handle too far. Just open it enough so it opens the door, but don't yank it to its full extent, because it's then putting pressure on this bit and eventually they break. And probably what's happened here is it happens on the back doors with family cars, because kids are getting in and out the back and just yanking it and not being particularly careful, and maybe that's why it's happened on the back doors on this car on both sides at the same time, and it hasn't happened on the front doors, even though it would be this handle, the driver's side handle, which is going to be getting far more use. So what I discovered when both of these handles fell off is that one of them had a load of white mastic already in there, and it clearly had previously been broken by the original owner, and they had just glued it back in. So even at 14,000 miles or so, this car had suffered 2 handle breaks already. So to fix it on this car, what I've done is I've just temporarily glued those back again, and they're not going to last long, they're going to break again, but I didn't want to lose the car for a few days in a Hyundai dealership just to get them all repaired, or should I say replaced, because it's not a quick job. They don't just have to replace the handle, the whole handle assembly has to be replaced, and there's a bolt in there which removes it all. But because they've got plastic on the underside which is body coloured, these have got to be sprayed to match. So it's an expensive job and not a quick job, because they have to paint the handles as well. But Hyundai will cover it. It is happening across the range. I don't know why our 28 kilowatt hour car, which had done over 100,000 miles, had never had a handle break, yet this one at 14,500 miles has now had 3 handle breakages. So maybe they have shaved a bit of plastic off, because the handle is basically the same design, so maybe they are a little bit weaker than the original ones, I don't know. What happens is actually there is a that fixing bolt that goes through there has a bolt going into the middle of the plastic. There's a sort of an encapsulated nut in the middle of the plastic where that bolt is screwing into, and that breaks at that point, and it's because of this handle pushing this all the time. It eventually causes the plastic to split along the point where that bolt is moulded inside the plastic. So you can temporarily glue it back together, and this has lasted now nearly 3 months and still fine. But what we're now doing is just being very careful when you pull on these handles. Just be very careful and only pull what's needed, and don't pull it to its full extent, because it will soon break again. So that's it for this video. All I'm sort of saying is really just be gentle with your door handles on your Hyundai Ioniq, and maybe any other Hyundai car that has similar sort of external handles to this, because if you yank them too much they will break, and then you don't want the hassle of losing your car for 2 or 3 days in a dealership while they replace them under warranty. So that's it. If you found it useful, as always, please do click the thumbs up button. It really does help, and also subscribe if you're not. And if you want to see more videos on the Hyundai Ioniq, I'll put a link below in the video description to a playlist where you can watch other videos I've made on the Ioniq. Okay, I'll see you on the next video.